letter C, staffing update. Mr. Mackie, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So just to kind of, I want to update council and the public on kind of our staffing situation as we did go, or have gone through a few critical, what I would call critical staff members in the last several months, and subsequently with some line level employees that followed shortly thereafter. Some of the changes that we've done to make sure that the city operations are remaining, for critical operations are remaining at the forefront would be, we did move Michelle Lauren out of the Parks and Rec Department, or the Recreation primarily, to the DPS department. She's still handling the parks stuff, the leases and whatnot. That was went with her, like the boat docks, the pavilions and those things. She had taken with her, but Jason had been operating without administrative support for many months. And given the importance of that department, Michelle Lauren had expressed interest in a change position, and so we took her up on that, and I think she's doing very well for Jason out there. As far as the recreation side, we're going to work on that over the winter with Michelle, or later this fall to winter, on how we proceed next spring with baseball and softball and those items for next year. With the VPU, on the VPU side of things, you know, we're down an electric superintendent and a wastewater superintendent, water superintendent. We had tried for several months to replace the wastewater superintendent with no success, and not even receiving one application. That actually returned a call. We received one, we called them for an interview, and they never called us back. So that being said, we do have an internal candidate that is one certification away from having both certifications for water and wastewater. That individual is testing later this fall. I think it's end of October, November. So we're hopeful that he can pass that test. So I've been working with him on the administrative side to hopefully get him in a position where he can take over that role. And if you remember, we are currently contracting with Jeff Geyer, who had left, for him to hang his license, because we have to have that license per the state of Michigan. So he's hanging his wastewater license at the plant. Our internal candidate is working underneath him and learning both that side from him as well as the administrative side from me. On the electric superintendent side, that is something that will take a number of months to work through. And why I say that is because it's a very specialized position. Other cities in the area in our region have gone over a year and a half trying to fill that particular position within their department. That being said, being a very shallow organization, we don't have someone to backfill that position like we did in the water and sewer side, minus the license. So I am doing a lot of that detail work, the reports, the applications, the power cost adjustments, all those things which go on the electric side and the administrative side. I am handling, because we do not have anyone else to do it at this particular time. I'm working with current staff, the foreman, the finance department to accomplish that. So it's not me solely, but when it gets down to the nuts and bolts of things, I have to sit down and do it myself. That being said, as you see in here, I talk about Sam Fry and kind of promoting him to assistant city manager on this side of things to help alleviate the burden on the general fund side as well. And he continues to do his economic development role, and is also helping in the planning and zoning administrative role, which is vacant with Alan Beaker retiring. We are currently interviewing candidates for the planning and zoning role, but that will take some time to get whomever is selected if we find a viable candidate trained and up to speed. So Sam is helping with that, and as I say in here, what I'm doing is look from a salary standpoint is looking at where I'm spending my time, which is the majority of it is at the BPU. Sam's increase for taking on these additional roles is coming out of the city manager's role. I am taking more of my pay out of the BPU side, so this is actually a budget neutral, or actually a better scenario for the general fund itself. And additionally, just want to point out that we had, when I say additional staff we had lost 2 of 4 water department staff that had left within weeks of Jeff Geyer leaving. And then we also lost some DPS staff. So we were able to fill in the last few weeks the 2 water department staff, which was great, and we're working on the DPS staff currently. Also, as I mentioned, on the second page, we were able to hire a city engineer with some very good experience and ties to the area, so we're very hopeful that this will be a great replacement for Kristen Bauer. He's starting next Monday, and his name, as I put in there, is Rob Stuyvesant. He's been an engineer for many years and graduated from Michigan Tech, which is a very highly touted engineering school. So he'll start next week. So we're excited for that, and he'll be jumping into these projects we talk about, as well as other projects with Arch Street and whatnot. And then lastly, we had made the changes on the airport manager side with Travis Stapleton taking over as airport manager, and then going from full-time and a part-time staff member at the airport to two part-time staff members in an effort to save additional revenue out there. But that seems to be going well, and Travis is assuming those roles and looking at ways to make the airport more financially viable. I think that's the gist of my report here today. Hopefully we'll have more to report in the weeks to come, but I think this will get us to our operations in sound place moving forward over the next several months.
Great, thank you very much. So, did you lose your deputy clerk then?
Yes.
Okay, all right. No hope of filling that at this point?
That is one of the positions that we're looking at combining some roles.
Okay.
Because we also have on the financial side, Peter Merritt as treasurer is part-time as well. So some of our long-term plans are maybe looking at a full-time person that could take on more roles within the accounting and finance department, but we do know they have to be trained, and we've looked for them, and they're awful hard to find. The deputy clerk, we have the same thing with the BPU administrative staff, so we're cautiously backfilling those, so we're not just taking anyone.
Okay, great, thank you. Any questions or comments from council or staff? Okay, thank you for the update.